Hey there guys, it's Winning Goal here with a Titanfall 2 video today. Thinking about this game always makes me sad because of its phenomenal potential and the reality of what happened to it. Let's take a look at what exactly went down. Backtrack to the first Titanfall game in 2014. Hugely hyped, EA's VP of Marketing was the lead on their advertising team, and this game was everywhere. Magazines, online ads, even a real life-size model Titan. It reportedly sold 10 million copies. Not bad at all for a game with very mixed reviews and exclusive to Microsoft platforms. For me personally, I had tons of fun playing it. Was it a well-made game on release? Not exactly, and that was its downfall. It was hyped as being the Call of Duty killer, as it was released at a time when people were tired of CoD's yearly cycle of games. This game was promised to offer the same fast-paced action with tons of new stuff, namely giant mechs and wall running. What really hindered it was lack of a single-player campaign, and even the online campaign seemed very iffy about calling it a campaign to me, as it was just PvP, and either side could win each mission. It didn't feel like there was any story whatsoever. A lot of people felt there also wasn't enough customization for loadouts, despite other AAA shooter games not really having any more variety. So 2 years later, in 2016, we get a sequel, Titanfall 2. The differences started before the game even released. There was no state-of-the-art advertising. In fact, I'm not sure I saw a single ad for this game before it came out. I knew when it was releasing because I had looked it up. Many people also did not know that the Microsoft exclusivity was dropped for Titanfall 2, so it did release on PS4, undeniably the home of the largest base of first-person shooter players. But how many PlayStation players knew it was even coming out? And of those that did, how many knew it was no longer Microsoft exclusive and that they too could buy it for PlayStation? Finally, we have the suicidal release date decision, releasing this game just 7 days after Battlefield 1 and just before Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. EA executives assumed that players would buy both EA titles, Battlefield and Titanfall, but what actually happened was players having to choose between the two due to not enough money and or time to purchase and play 2 AAA shooter titles in such a short time span, 3 if they wanted to get the new Call of Duty as well. And most people chose Battlefield, the more familiar title. And since the majority of sales for AAA games happen in the first few weeks after launch largely due to the hype around them, Titanfall 2 was forgotten by the time people realized Battlefield 1 wasn't all that great. The press absolutely ripped Titanfall 2 to shreds, for it only managing to sell between 2 to 3 million copies, outsold by its predecessor 4 to 1. This probably made players even more wary of buying the game. This is all such a shame because Respawn Entertainment listened to and heeded all the feedback from the first Titanfall, a rarity in the gaming industry these days. Who would have known? A company actually listening to their fans. Titanfall 2 is fantastic and massively underrated. It improved in all areas. There is a phenomenal single-player campaign with tons of story and excellent gameplay. In fact, I'd say it's the best first-person shooter campaign I've played since Halo Reach back in 2010. The multiplayer has infinitely more options for customization with a much more engaging progression and reward system. All of the old weaponry returns with more than double the number of choices for pilot weapons due to new additions, grenades, ordnance, etc. The same goes for Titans. So did Titanfall 2 fail because of the game itself? Absolutely not. EA failed Titanfall 2. This game could truly have been what the first one was hyped to be, the Call of Duty killer.